Get more out of life. Go out to a movie.
Let's see how many plates we can break over Jeremy's head before he passes out. Bleeds everywhere. Dang, we should write a story about that. And then, like, halfway through the party night, we just get a ring at the doorbell, and there's a mysterious, like, package, like a big box. And it's, like, two little, like, Latino immigrant children that have been, like, shipped to America. And they're like, are you my papa?
They're dressed up like Thing 1 and Thing 2, and they just make a mess. Oh, gosh. Yeah, no, but it's great here. The weather's perfect. We're about to go for a swim later. Nice. We've been hiking on several trails, and many of which I have not even crossed or uncovered yet. I'm excited for what we're going to do for the rest of the week. And, yeah, we're just kind of chilling here. It's been good. I was on a podcast last night. We talked about Green Room and a bunch of other movies and catching up, so that'll come out in the next month or so.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, we've just been chilling.
I've actually never seen Green Room.
You saw Blue Ruin, right? Not that one either? Okay, yeah.
That one's pretty good.
If you like that, you'll like Green Room.
That guy's from Richmond, right? The director?
I don't know. I think, we were trying to figure that out. We don't know if he's from Austin or New York, but he made his way around like Maryland area, and then I guess at some point like worked with VCU people on Blue Ruin. And then Green Room is like it's like Colorado, so I don't know.
Nice.
All over the place. How's North Carolina?
It's snowing right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the job's tough, man. I drew, did you see the frog that I posted on my Instagram?
Yeah.
So I drew that for a client because they wanted a meditating frog. And just today, they're like, his hand needs to be moved. He needs to be wearing a full military tactical outfit. And I was like, what? So now I have to redraw the whole thing. They're like, the pattern's cool, but we want skulls and guns. They're like, he needs to be in Navy SEAL gear, like Zero Dark 30. You ever seen that?
He needs to be crushing the skulls of his enemies.
Ripping their balls out. Feasting on their testicles.
Oh, gosh. Let's get right into it then, I guess. We'll catch up on just about everything we have here. 2021 has come and gone. A lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of a lot of
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff that we worked on, too. A lot of collaborative projects. I'm surprised we got as much done as we did. That was the big shocker. Most of it pig-related.
Oh, yeah. That was all you, man. I just supplied the star of the film.
Where is he right now, and how is Stewie doing? Is he with us right now?
He's down in his room, actually. I should probably go check on him and see if his heater's on, because they said it's snowing here, so it's really cold.
Yeah. I take it he's not one for the cold. He can't handle just like the slightest bit of snow touching his little tail.
He's like, I'm scared. Yeah, you'd be fine.
Cool.
The chickens, they might freeze. Nah, they're fine too. I don't know how the animals do it. They take it, man.
The chickens, you know, they're in hot water when you're going out the window.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah. Well, I say we start off the way we started off 2020, or our recap of 2020. Let's talk about Cobra Kai Season 4.
They're not the only ones teaming up.
If you would have told me a year ago that our family's safety depended on winning a karate tournament, I would have thought you were joking. Here we are, living in the Twilight Zone.
Oh, yeah, man. Hold on. I forgot about that. Yeah, because I watched that in 2... You binged the whole thing, right?
I binged the whole thing in one day. Through the night a little bit, too. I should have stayed up. I stayed up a little past my bedtime watching it, but worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, I did think... Yeah, I thought it was good. I liked it. I liked it. It was probably my least favorite of all the seasons so far. But
Yeah.
I still really liked it.
I guess my only major complaint was that I wanted it to end here. I thought this would be the season finale that would have cemented the whole franchise and given everybody the closure they needed.
Well,
Unfortunately,
doing 2 more seasons.
2 more?
2.
Oh my gosh.
2. They might even do more, honestly. They might keep going to like they have like one episode where Daniel LaRusso is so old and so is Johnny, and they're both like in bed like and then they hold hands and they touch hands and then they and then they die.
Well, so the first thing I heard is that they are in talks of getting Hilary Swank on board because she played the next Karate Kid in the 4th one.
Dang, well,
And it's
honestly,
like, why not at this point?
I didn't even think they were going to count Karate Kid 3 as canon.
I was surprised by that.
So shitty. It's just so shitty. And the only thing shittier than Karate Kid 3, as we all know, is Karate Kid 4. What's it called? The Next Generation?
No, the next Karate Kid. Hilary Swank is the next one. And she goes up against Michael Ironside and her ragtag team of boys. They're bullies. They're like a military.
What's worse, the next Karate Kid or Rocky 5?
Oh, next Karate Kid. Rocky 5 is way better.
Really?
Because it's still Stallone like having a street fight with somebody at the end. It's better, way better.
Is the Next Karate Kid the same director?
I don't think it's John Avildsen. I think it's somebody else.
Okay.
Maybe he was involved. I don't know.
It explains even more of its shittiness.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think Rocky 5, man, might even be worse because you can't. I mean, it's the director. They brought Rocky 1 back. Like, they had a recipe for success, and they just fucked it up so bad.
Yeah.
And they did it with actually what they're doing to Cobra Kai. You know, this is something we've seen before, man. It's tale as old as time. It's like Cobra Kai, you got this really good young cast of kids, and they're good actors. And usually I hate kids in shows, but they're just like they're just starting to suck.
You didn't like the new black kid that came into the cast who's got like this sick dance moves and then the kids laugh at him and make fun of him on the school bus?
He was all right. I feel like this season just had too much dumb drama in it.
It did.
Yeah, that's what took it down. And like, it's especially the kid drama, which I'm over. But the fighting was good. I like how they brought it back to the tournament.
Yes. Yeah. That I would say that was definitely the biggest highlight, was not knowing how these fights were going to go down, and even kind of incorporating like other martial arts into the actual program. So they're not just fighting; they're doing other crafts with the karate, what they've learned in the dojo. And I guess they're technically all split up into 3 teams. I was trying to understand how they were doing a 3-way tournament. How they're narrowing this down. Yeah. It was hilarious.
I was thinking, I'm surprised they didn't just outlaw karate, like, considering that huge brawl they had at the school where, like, Miguel broke his back, and then they had, them breaking into the house. Like, you think they would have been like, you know what, you guys lost your karate tournament privileges.
Something. I don't know. I was laughing, though, how they didn't... They kind of acknowledge how bad 3 is, where Ralph Macchio was describing, I went back to my hometown, and what did we do? We started a bonsai tree shop. And it's like, really? That was the thrilling thing you did in the 3rd film?
It cuts back to, like, flashback, and Daniel LaRusso has, like, his eyes taped back, and he's like, bonsai! Misa Miyagi, Daniel-san bonsai tree! And it's just like, he's being totally like racist about it.
The only thing standing in our way is Daniel LaRusso.
Danny boy?
He's even teamed up with Johnny Lawrence.
Wait. You're a champ and LaRusso working together.
That's why I'm here. I need a partner. And the only other person who knows how to teach Cobra Kai is you. What do you say?
Terry Silver in Cobra Kai season 4.
He was good. I liked him a lot.
He was evil, he was malicious, and he kept his plans hidden from the characters up until maybe the last couple episodes. So we didn't know he was going to turn Kreese, I guess, into the police that last minute because he beats the shit out of, what was the actor's name? Paul Walter Hauser, who I wasn't hoping was not going to return, but whatever, he gets beat up.
That guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated him. I wanted his ass. When he's getting his butt kicked, I was like... Yeah, well, Kreese brought it upon himself, man. Because he was like, listen to me. You know I'm right. Silver listened to him, and he was right, man.
Yeah. And some characters, they just don't ever change. They get worse.
Just never changed.
It was getting kind of tiresome seeing... You would think that, like... these main characters would have grown out of their squabbles with one another, but they kept kind of doing their like back and forth jib jab, like, oh, like you don't understand Miyagi-Do. No, you don't understand offense versus defense.
Yeah, it just keeps going. It never ends.
Yeah.
I don't really mind that. To me, like Johnny's my favorite character in the show, which is kind of rare for me to like the main character to be like actually the best.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. That's the heart of the show, and I kind of like it. But I don't know. Maybe that'll just never end. Maybe the show will just end, and they'll still be like, "You suck." No, you suck.
An ongoing feud. I do like that Daniel does finally accept, like, okay, you do things your own way. You know, just like think for yourself for once in these fights, and don't always listen to us because we don't know what we're doing half the time. We think we're so self-righteous about our ways of karate, but you know, you're kids. And this is, you know, you guys got to live your best lives. So I was like, I don't know. It's admirable how those characters kind of grow in that direction. And I don't know, there was like a weird subplot with Daniel's son who's not into karate. You know, it's kind of like this weird, he's kind of a bully, but not really. He's trying to fit in with his own friend zone.
Yeah, he's like, Dad, you can't steal my iPad. How am I supposed to play my games?
This is when Daniel beat him over the head with it.
Just sticks it like in his mouth.
Yeah. That photographer though, is that one episode where like she was doing a self-diagnosis of their son. That's Ralph Macchio's daughter. I was like, oh, okay, they look alike.
Oh yeah, that was such a random scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, the season had too many dumb random scenes like that.
Overall, I don't know if I want any more. I think I'm kind of done.
Yeah, really? You're like, I'm just done. I'll watch another season. Like, at least the seasons aren't like extremely long.
No, they're quick watch. I mean, and I'm enjoying it. If anything, like of all of these 80s revival, reboot, nostalgia packed shows or movies have to offer, Cobra Kai is one of the few where it doesn't feel like it's totally in your face or self-serious or just very abhorrent in nature in terms of relating to those past films or those past shows, because it seems to really be a labor of love. Everybody involved. I'm surprised they got as many of the old cast as they did to come back, especially the ones who are not doing anything. So they're like, yeah, I'll take the paycheck. I'll have fun.
It's like I said, I'm happy to see that they're all just not a bunch of washed up crackheads.
Yeah.
Alcoholic crackheads.
Just doing heroin on set.
Not like fucking, I was watching interviews for The Last Duel, and Ridley Scott has got a fucking like neck brace on, and he's like cussing out the interviewer.
So it's a very realistic film. It looks more realistic than Kingdom of Heaven or Robin Hood, if we're talking about your...
Thank you, thank you very much. You go for yourself. Go on.
Oh man, Ridley Scott was in some hot water like all of last year up until the release, because he's one, like shitting on Marvel movies like any like good solid filmmaker should. And he's just like anybody that was like coming after that movie, and just in terms of just like what it was saying about the points of view and, you know, men and women in that time period, he's just like, I don't fucking care. It's a movie.
Fucking care. Yeah.
Yeah, you like The Last Duel, right? It wasn't bad.
I thought it was really good.
Did you think of Rashomon when you were watching it?
Oh, for sure, yeah. It took me actually a while to get into it. It probably took me like 40 40 minutes to really like get hooked in, because first of all, I didn't really actually know what it was about. I didn't do a lot of research. So, and then I didn't know who the main character was. And I didn't know who this different story sides were going to be, right? And I didn't know that each story was going to be told in that Rashomon style, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who do you think was telling the truth?
It's clearly, what's her name? The woman.
Are you sure about that? I think
it says the truth.
Well,
that's what people were. I saw people saying that. Like, actually, Ridley Scott, I think, said this too. And it's like, it's in the fucking movie. It says the truth.
That's where I'm like, okay, at least make this a little ambiguous for the viewer, because it's like, all right, well, I guess this is the person who's telling the truth then. I don't know. I think she's a lying scumbag.
Adam Driver got screwed over.
He just wanted to read poetry.
I thought everyone was really good in it. And I thought Ben Affleck was good in it too.
Yeah, no, honestly, Ben Affleck was probably my favorite part, actually. He was chewing scenery so much. And I think he and Matt Damon were the most involved in the writing. Like, they went back to their Good Will Hunting days, just kind of collaborate on this story, which is based on a true duel, an event that happened. But I don't know much about the characters, although they did get the aesthetic down. Matt Damon's hair, as weird and kooky as it looks, was the legit look that he had, that character.
He looks kind of like a mullet.
Yeah.
Kind of like a mullet. Phenomenal.
He looks like he should be in a glam rock band.
And it looked really good because it didn't have, like, it had few battle scenes, but they weren't overblown, like in some Ridley Scott fashion. And, I always think that, like, in some historical movies, I feel like dialing it back and like almost having a lower budget makes it more realistic, because so much time when they have such big budgets, everything is so overblown and it's just like, geez, you know?
Yeah.
You don't get like the small sense of scale, which this one was definitely a small scale movie.
Well, because also I just love a really good sword duel or joust, because
it was a great duel. Yeah,
it just gets right down to the dirty grittiness of it. Right to that huge just jab right into the mouth. I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah. And they were fucking grinding against the wall.
Yeah, it's a good.
I read the whole Wikipedia page about the real thing, and on real accounts, like Matt Damon did get stabbed in the thigh.
Oh really?
Yeah, and both of their horses got slaughtered. And he did stand above him, and one account said that, like, Adam Driver did, like, go like, I swear on my life, I didn't do it. And they were like, ah! From everything I read, they seem to keep it pretty accurate, which is good.
That's good. It makes a good pairing with The Duelists, which is also a very small scale epic with a Napoleonic war happening in the background, but you don't see any of it happen, but you believe it's happening. Whereas in the midst of it, you're just focusing on these two French dudes who are so stubborn and won't stop having 30 plus duels with each other for 20 years.
Yeah, but the last duel, so good. I think they should make a sequel. The other last duel.
They both come back from the dead and like, one last time.
Dueling in the underworld.
I really will make it, I bet. I didn't see his other movie, House of Gucci, but nobody saw that, so.
Some people said Jared Leto's the best part.
I'd believe it. He was the best part of, he's one of the best parts of Justice League, which also came out in 2021. And that was just 5 minutes of him preaching like he was Jesus Joker with the long strands of hair, the slow-mo.
Oh, the 4-hour Justice League?
The 4-hour Justice League, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one we watched. That was 2021?
The very beginning, yeah.
Nice, yeah. Well, what'd you think of that one?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, like, looking back at it, I'm never going to watch it again, ever. But I love when a director like Zack Snyder gets an opportunity to kind of come back and give these characters and this world in the DC universe his vision and not some studio vision that's like soulless and has no energy behind it or even any sort of style or panache like he usually brings to the table. Even if the movie is complete crap, like he will deliver on something that you will kind of like stick to memory. And I gotta admire that.
Yeah, that Justice League movie did have some striking visuals.
Yeah,
really come back to mind. And I think when we watched it, it kind of reminded us of something like that, like George Lucas would do.
Yeah,
just totally overblown and like in a lot of ways really out of touch, but just like interesting.
Well, and also you could tell he's got much more respect for these superhero characters and the teamwork that they have to use to build with one another against the evil. Way better than a Kevin Feige type would with his Marvel characters. Like, dude, you don't really buy that any. And Joss Whedon and all those guys, you don't buy that the Avengers really like each other or want to work together. They're just there for plot's sake, and they only serve as foils for one another.
Yeah, right.
Only for Captain Marvel to save the day for everybody. So it's just, who cares?
Yeah, dude, I haven't watched any Marvel shit. Well, I did see Spider-Man. You saw Spider-Man, right?
No Way Home.
Yeah, I thought Spider-Man No Way Home was not bad. I enjoyed quite a bit of it. I thought the beginning of it was ass. Like, the first... everything until Dr. Octopus showed up, I was just so out of it. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I thought Doctor Strange was a smart person. Why is he doing this?
Oh, he flubs up and makes the worst mistake possible for Tom Holland.
Yeah. And then I thought from there, I liked Willem Dafoe in it a lot. I think you had to appreciate him. He was good in it.
Yeah, he's the best part.
He was just doing something he'd done before. But this is so stupid online. Like, now I'm seeing these videos and articles which are like, why Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is the scariest villain in any superhero movie. I'm like, no, it was always kind of cheesy. Like, you know, that's the way it was meant to be, kind of like cheesy.
If somebody said that to him, he'd be like, wrong answer, Spider-Man.
Wrong answer. And then I don't know, it was weird because sometimes Tobey Maguire seemed like he was into it, and other times it just seemed like he was totally out of it.
He was totally phoning it in for the most part. Like,
I say, yeah, for a lot of the time it did seem like it, but I mean, you got what you wanted.
There were like 3 minutes of just honest to fun nostalgia bait where I was like, oh, it's kind of cool seeing Toby wear the suit again and be there, even though he looks 15 years older than we last saw.
It was kind of trippy seeing him in that suit again. Like,
yeah.
Like, I was kind of like...
Yeah, I was having like a full-on seizure. I was foaming from the mouth. I couldn't stop.
I had to call an ambulance.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, we already had Spider-Verse. Was it really worth it? No. Most of the villains were in front of a green screen. They weren't even there.
Yeah. Andrew Garfield was all right in it.
He's fine. He had that one arc where he had to save Zendaya as to fill that void of not being able to save Emma Stone because he's a loser.
And I did like the ending, but it's like because the ending, it's like he finally becomes Spider-Man, like makes his own suit. It's like kind of depressed, lonely, but it's like, dear Lord, you made 3 movies
to get to this part.
Like a 9 movie series.
Well, I didn't realize. For whatever reason, I thought Tom Holland already got the pep talk about with great power comes great responsibility. Like, we're waiting till now for Aunt May to die as it happens.
This movie made me like Tom Holland a lot more because he's out. Have you seen him? Tom Holland's still done with it. He's like, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore.
No, now he wants to be Nathan Drake, and that's gonna suck.
The next Spider-Man movie should be Tom Holland playing himself, and he doesn't want to make another Spider-Man movie, but he gets bit by a radioactive spider and has to become Spider-Man.
It's him versus the film crew. He's just like fighting.
It should be like Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah, there you go. You see all the ads.
In my dreams.
You see all the headlines. It's the new nightmare of the Marvel series.
Yeah, and then I was kind of disappointed in the trailer for Doctor Strange 2, directed by Sam Raimi. It doesn't
Even look like it's directed by him.
Yeah, like a little bit here and there, but
yeah. But you know what this means, though? That was Sam Raimi at the helm. That we're probably going to get more Toby. Probably. Why not?
I hope so, man. Because I feel like if we actually get that whole whatever scene Toby's in Doctor Strange 2 will actually be more authentic than anything in Spider-Man No Way Home, you know? And then we're gonna find out later that Sam Raimi was like, yeah, the day Toby was there, I needed to take a shit. So J.J. Abrams just directed that scene, and we're all gonna be like, what?
I was hanging out with my brother Ted, and he was having a good time.
Ted and I were both taking shits.
I let Bruce Campbell ghost direct.
Oh yeah, it has to have a Bruce Campbell cameo
somewhere in there. Also, what did you make of like the whole point of eradicating the villains in No Way Home is to vaccinate them with goodness, and they send them back to their time periods?
Do you think that was a vaccination thing?
It seemed like it. So we're gonna send Green Goblin back to go die again. Only this time he's good.
Yeah, I'm back. Get stabbed by the glider.
Oh.
It didn't make sense to me. Like, okay, wait. Now do we go? Like, at what point in their movies did they get warped into Tom Holland's movies? And like, what were they doing? Like,
well,
Green Goblin got taken and he was wearing the suit. So he was obviously like Green Goblin-ing. Yeah. And like what if one of them was just like, yeah, taking a shit, and they just end up on the highway and they're like, oh.
This is a bad time. Well, I assume like at least Sandman, it's like he's still wreaking havoc after Spider-Man 3.
I totally forgot Sandman was in the movie because Thomas Hayden Church never actually showed up. I'm convinced the shots that he was in was just footage from Spider-Man 3.
Well, because they're not in the same room together. You don't see them like together at all.
No, I think it was just, footage somewhere from Spider-Man 3 that they just cropped in.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like Electro, I guess, left over from Amazing Spider-Man 2, who's like, oh man, I thought you were gonna be black. I'm like, we get it. There already was a black Spider-Man.
He gets electric and he's like, whiteness. So this is what it feels like. Was Godzilla versus Kong this year?
That was 2021. Yep. We all hung around for that one.
Best movie watching experience of my life. That was a good one.
I would say it was.
It kind of sucked in a lot of ways, but I think like the fights were good. And of all like the MonsterVerse movies, I feel like the monsters had like a pretty good place within the movie as characters. Like it did feel like King Kong was more of a character than any of the humans.
It's like at this point in time, they're established. We know who these monsters are, who these people are. We don't know.
Yeah, he's like, the people are the monsters. Jeremy, can't you see?
Whoever wins, they all die.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, it delivered on what we expected. You know, we got some Kong action, we got some Zilla action. You know, of course, Mecha Godzilla had to come in and ruin the fun, but we knew that was going to happen, and we knew they were going to just both take him down, tear him limb from limb, eat his innards.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have sex.
No,
which is what, like, you know, that's a one thing they didn't cross off the list.
Ken Watanabe like predicted they would fuck and they didn't happen.
I was thinking honestly that Ken Watanabe would come back as a like 200-foot tall like ghost and battle Godzilla and Kong and be like, no fighting. It's a ghost of Serizawa.
There can't be two Alpha Titans.
Did you see the Green Knight?
No, I only saw the beginning of it. I can't remember why. I think I fell asleep or something because it was late.
It is Matt Lowry, I think is the name of the director. So he's known for being very slow and methodical with his movies.
Was it slow and methodical? I'm pulling up my list. So.
I mean, so he did like a ghost story a few years ago with Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara, which wasn't a bad movie. I really liked it, but if you can't handle watching Rooney Mara eat a pie for 10 minutes in one single take, you probably know what you're in. Yeah. You probably know what you're in for. But here, Green Knight's good. I think the middle portion kind of suffers a little bit, but it's the first 30 minutes and the last 30 minutes are really strong. And it's a really good tale about a man trying to find his honor and place.
Would you say it does justice to like what? Because it's a real medieval tale.
It's an Arthurian one, yeah.
Yeah. So would you say it does justice in that regard? Like, does it feel Arthurian in its themes and its style?
I'd say so for the most part. It feels. Yeah, of that time. It feels like a chapter in that lifespan of Arthur. Like one knight of the Round Table would have ventured off and done something like this. I'm not saying that this is a specific character, but it feels like something like a character would have gone on a journey to like figure himself out and do the noble thing of honoring a little sport, a little game of getting his head chopped off.
Yeah, because sometimes like I feel like filmmakers will try to like update like the themes, like to try to rationalize it more for modern audiences. Yeah. You know, that like audiences are too dumb to like put themselves in like that time period and like maybe reasons why people would go on like these crazy ass journeys to you know, redeem their honor or like look noble, you know. But that's what those stories were all about, because that's what's important to those guys.
Yeah. There are a couple moments where it seems like they throw in some modern lingo that doesn't fit the time period at all. Like they'll say things like, "Yeah, okay, sure." I'm like, bogus.
Listen, folks, please. The boogeyman is at large. He's got no choice but to emerge. He is an apex predator. When he surfaces, there will be no pause. There will be no empathy. This ends when Michael is dead. Michael Myers will be executed tonight, and it will not go without witness. We need all of you. Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight is going to go down as one of the best catchphrases of all time, and I think people are mistreating Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills. You haven't seen Halloween Kills yet, have you, Jake?
No, I want to see it.
It's so good. You should check it out.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like I would like it a lot because it sounds like kind of action-packed and just crazy.
It's the most brutal Michael Myers has ever been before in any of these movies. And it's a good reflection of the whole franchise in terms of just, you know what, screw it. We're retconning it again and again. He's the boogeyman and he's unstoppable.
Just no one can stop him.
Yeah. And then you get to watch Anthony Michael Hall, who's got like this weird balding thing going on with his hair. He's like really chubby looking, but they try to make him look tough. And he's running around being like, "Evil dies tonight." And he gets the mob going. It's so great.
You said at the end of the movie, they need to nuke the town. That's the only way to get rid of Michael Myers, is just to nuke it.
Yeah. There's this, I won't spoil too much, but there's a point where they have him surrounded and it's still not enough.
Well, it seems like back in the early 2000s, like when they were making like H2O and stuff, that's how those movies were, but they weren't. I guess I'm hoping there's a way, like you said, to make like a totally relentless killer movie that's not like trash like they used to be, you know?
Yeah.
Do it well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, I guess, a higher level slasher.
Yeah, they're playing it up like this is like Jamie Lee Curtis's like real comeback and revenge story. This film in particular, she spends most of it just in the hospital talking about Michael and what a demon he is, and how it's funny, like she thinks he's out to get her, but really she's the one out to get him. He doesn't, unless she's standing in his way, he doesn't care. He's just wandering aimlessly throughout Haddonfield. He just wants to be in his sister's bedroom. That's his only destination.
That's it.
Yeah. And he will, and this is the beautiful thing about Michael. He is all inclusive. He will kill anybody and everybody. He doesn't care what your gender, what your race or sexuality is. He will just kill you.
True equality.
Yeah, true equality.
In the horror direction, did you see *Malignant*?
I still never saw it, but I've seen enough scenes to know that I've probably seen it all at this point.
Yeah. Kind of respect to James Wan for taking all of his Aquaman money and spending it on something he wanted to do.
Yeah.
It seemed like kind of this weird, like some weird episode of some weird anime show you would watch, you know?
Yeah.
And it did remind me of Basket Case.
Yes, that's the one thing I'm like, you know what? If there's one draw or one connection to make, it's to play a Basket Case. It's just that fun scenario of just this little demon sibling you have in the back of your brain or whatever part of your body.
Yeah, and then this movie was definitely like mismarketed. Like it was totally marketed as like a Conjuring type movie, which is why I think some people might have been disappointed. But
it seems like he just wanted to make a campy, fun movie. Like he wanted to throw logic out the window this time.
Yeah, I mean, like I knew that when it had a John Wick style fight sequence in it.
Just tearing up the police force.
Suicide Squad, was that this year?
That was, and I watched the first 10 minutes and I gave up. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
I said I would not harm them, and I shall not. But Arrakis is Arrakis. And the desert takes the weak. My desert. My Arrakis. My Dune.
Dune was very mellow. I watched it.
Lukewarm, right?
Lukewarm, not bad technically by any means, but just very. Even like it has a good sense of scope, but even then I was just kind of not impressed. I was just very bored and uninterested in the characters, even though it seemed like it was ambitious and trying something. It also ended so abruptly. Like I knew it was going to probably split the book up into a couple parts, but
yeah,
I did not like how it just decided to end right where it did.
It didn't end really with a sense of progression. Like they were going somewhere, but it was like, where are you going?
Yeah.
Like, what? I want to read my mom's review for Dune because I shared an article that was Stop Intellectualizing Pop Culture, which I think your dad shared. And my mom posted, that article is funny. Simply said, the first Dune was too long and boring. And the second Dune is the same. So, yeah, too long and too boring.
I guess I could say I didn't progress.
Yeah, Dune could have used more action. I'm not sure. Denis Villeneuve, I don't know, man.
Do you think he's lost his mojo now?
He's a little full of himself, I feel like, especially after he was all pissed off when the movie theaters closed and they didn't guarantee him Dune 2.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're all of these higher up filmmakers. They're these auteurs or wannabe auteurs are very stuck up about their theater showings.
Yeah.
Can't watch it on your phone no more, or your iPad.
Yeah, I saw some comment online like, Dune sucked. It took forever to illegally download, and the audio quality sucked on my Samsung Galaxy S20.
No shit. Let's see, what else have we got? I watched VHS 94, the fourth VHS movie.
Have you seen them all?
I've seen them all. Well, I never finished the third one because it was total ass after the first segment. It was called VHS Viral, and it was all about online. So it has nothing to do with video cassettes. It's just it's about distributing your short film online on some YouTube platform. In fact, you shouldn't be calling these VHS movies anyway if you're going to shoot them digitally. That's the whole one problem with this whole franchise. But this one was okay. It was okay. Some segments were better than others. There were about 5, I think. I'm never going to watch it again.
Really? Yeah. Don't Look Up. Did you see that?
No. Yeah, so I avoided this, but I know quite a bit about it. What did you think? Was it total Adam McKay propaganda?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like these movies that are so obvious and in your face. And it's like those meme now where it's like people after they watch Don't Look Up, it's like so many people, you just don't get it, man. I'm like, you just don't like it because you'd be in the Don't Look Up group. You
would look down. You just look down at everything.
Yeah. That being said, the last 20 minutes and the end credits scene are pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because everybody died then?
Yeah, spoiler alert, that meteor hits the Earth and kills everybody. I was watching it with my cousins. I was like, if this meteor doesn't hit the Earth, I'm going to be pissed. And everyone was like, yeah. So they gave you what you want there.
The cover of it really confuses me because all the actors are looking up within the text, except for Timothée Chalamet, who's just looking directly ahead of himself. I'm like, did nobody give him direction?
He was actually pretty good in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
You surprised?
He was one of the better parts. But everyone else is just like, man, it's the same thing with those fucking big-time directors. It's these big-time actors. Some of them I'm just sick at looking their faces. Like Meryl Streep has not done anything good in like 25 years.
They always say truth is stranger than fiction. When you first read it, did you ever think like it kind of went too far or like no president would behave this way? And then you realize maybe it was accurate?
Are you kidding me? Is that a real question? I thought I was sort of reined in from recent precedent, but yeah, I mean, it was out of the box because it was a female president. God knows if that'll ever happen.
I mean, her last good movie was like, I don't know, A River Runs Through It or something.
Yeah, seriously. And who else was in this shit?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Once again, Tyler Perry was actually pretty good in it. Tyler Perry's. I like him when he shows up, like in these small roles. He's good.
He's a good actor when he's being directed.
Yeah, exactly. And Cate Blanchett, she was good too. But I always like her. She's a great actress.
I didn't see. I didn't see Nightmare Alley, the new Guillermo del Toro movie, but I heard she was really good in that.
That one's a remake.
A remake, yeah.
Most people say that. I was reading reviews and people were saying the original was better, but that this new one was pretty good for fans of the original. So
I'll check them both out soon. I've been planning on it. I already did my top 10 earlier. I posted that out there, but my number 10 was A Glitch in the Matrix. My number 9 was The Scary of 61st. Number 8 was Small Engine Repair. Number 7 was Home in the Dark. Number 6 was T10, sorry. Number 5 was The Last Duel. Number 4 was The Card Counter. Number 3, Red Rocket. Number 2, Pig. And then number 1 was Private Chat or PVT Chat.
Jeremy, you always have a Nick Cage movie on your top like 3 every year.
I can't help it.
I need to see Pig. Everyone who saw it said it's really good.
Yeah, you're gonna feel really depressed when you watch it, but it's honestly a solid, like, if you've been in hiding like all of 2020 through 2021 and then you just kind of come out of it, you will feel the emotions that Nick Cage is feeling, where you're like, oh, I see why I left society.
Yeah. What was your number 1?
Private Chat with Peter Vack and Julia Fox. Julia Fox, who's now partnered with Kanye West. It's his new girlfriend.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I follow Julia Fox on Instagram like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Her like husband just left her.
Yeah.
Were you following that?
Yep.
That was some Instagram drama. I was like, reading about it. Okay, yeah, I know that one because of the poster.
Mm-hmm. And
There's got a dude who's like obsessed with this online chick and goes to meet her or something.
She's a cam girl that he starts to build a little bit of a relationship with, and he's like an online gambler in just like the crummiest parts of NYC. He goes to art shows with his friends. They're all like 20-somethings. And then he finds out that she lives not too far from him. They hook up at one point, but then under some misunderstanding, they kind of break apart and try to make ends meet. And it's just drama, comedy, weird zaniness, dark, twisted psychological terror that comes with being obsessed with somebody through, I guess, online webcams these days that I think many people will find very familiar.
I don't blame the girls. If I was a hot chick, I'd have an OnlyFans.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I saw a girl and she looks exactly like you.
I bet she wasn't as hot as me.
She looked exactly like you.
Okay, well, I've never been to New York, so...
What would you say if I had a picture of you in New York?
I want to see it.
What would you say if I had a picture of you in New York?
I'd say, wow, you're really great at Photoshop.
Jackie boy! You won't believe who the fuck I just saw coming around the corner.
Who?
That broad from San Francisco, the cam girl.
Repeat after me. I have the sexiest body that anybody's ever seen.
Mortal Kombat, did you see that?
I did not see Mortal Kombat. How was Mortal Kombat?
The opening fight was really good and the ending fight was really good. But besides that, it sucked. And then No Sudden Move.
I liked No Sudden Move. It almost made it to my top 10.
I love the cast.
Honestly, I thought everybody was solid. I did want Benicio del Toro to do a bit more. I thought he just didn't quite have that energy anymore that he used to have. And I don't know if it's the Marvel Disney fatigue that he's sucked into now, but anytime you see these actors branch out of that, like, you want them to be really, really good.
He's in Marvel?
Yeah, he's in he's the weirdo with Howard the Duck in like the Guardians movies.
Oh, the Guardians of the Galaxy shit. Yeah.
And then he's the double agent that never comes back in the new trilogy.
Oh, in Star Wars. Those movies are just trash.
I don't know how I remember that. It's so forgettable.
Don Cheadle's really good in it, and I really liked what's his name, Stranger Things guy.
Oh, yeah. What's his name? David Harbour.
Yeah, he was good. He was really good in that.
Ray Liotta, John Hamm, everybody. This is the thing that I love about
Julia
Soderbergh.
Fox.
She's there too, and Bill Duke. Oh yeah,
John Hamm,
Matt Damon.
It had an amazing cast.
That's the thing I love about Soderbergh, is that like he's one of these like journeyman sort of directors where he's always branching out into some other genre and just always experimenting. And even if he doesn't always hit or miss, like at least he tried, and he always has a good cast to back it up. Yeah,
and you can tell he's definitely like one of these blue chip directors. Like, he's pumping out movies.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like he goes in like he'll do like 3 movies that come out like in 3 years, you know? Yeah, I want to watch more of his stuff. Did he do Sex, Lies, and Videotape? That was him?
That was one of his first movies.
I've never seen that one. That was like one of his first ones. Yeah, and I like Magic Mike. That was a good one. I stumbled upon that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He did Traffic. I like Aaron Brockovich. Out of Sight, I remember liking with George Clooney. I need to go back to that one. He's all over the place.
Yeah, he's great.
Honestly, yeah.
And then, all right, the last movie we didn't talk about was No Time to Die that I saw. Did you see No Time to Die?
This is the new James Bond, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but it's what's his name directing this time?
Oh, Fukunaga.
Cary Fukunaga. Did it feel like a Cary Fukunaga film?
What else has he made?
He did True Detective Season 1. He did The Beast of No Nation with Idris Elba. But yeah, that's what he's mostly known for.
Dude, the same thing I said about the other movies, man. The beginning was really good and the ending was really good, but the middle of that movie just dragged on, man. I damn near fell asleep. That movie was 2 hours and like 45 minutes long. Like, seriously, your movie got to keep my attention for that.
Bring back the 95-minute movie and stop with this 3.5 hour.
The new Batman movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes without credits. That is like, dude, if the movie sucks, I'm going to walk out of it.
It better keep my attention.
But No Time to Die was okay. The villain was trash. What's his name? Rami Malek. Yeah, awful villain. Nowhere as good as like Javier Bardem or
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah, didn't even come close. Daniel Craig was really good in it.
Really? He didn't look tired? He didn't look fatigued with the character like he's done?
Yeah, he did, but spoiler alert. He takes a bunch of rockets to the face at the end. So he really sells off the whole, like, oh, fuck it, I'm done. Just kill me. And it works really, really well at the end.
That wasn't in character. That was Daniel Craig saying, fire those rockets at me on set right now. I'm done.
Yeah, so clearly he did have time to die. And then it had, it had some really good, like, just cold, like, good moments that you want from like a James Bond movie. Like, he is a ruthless killer, you know? He'll shoot you. He doesn't care. And it did really have like some good James Bond moments. So overall, I need to watch Skyfall again. Definitely better than Spectre and definitely better than Quantum of Solace. Both of those movies are like unwatchable. They're so bad. I don't know if it was better than Skyfall. And yeah, nowhere as good as Casino Royale.
Well, so who's going to be the new Bond? Is it going to be some black woman on the team?
They did that in this. That happens in this movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, it happens.
I believe that.
Bond is retired like at the beginning of every other movie in this series. and then they give the 007 to some other lady who's like a black woman, and Daniel Craig's like, you can't give my number away.
I have no time to die.
Well, she had one of the best parts in the movie because she's standing next to one of the characters who they need for information, and he's like standing over like a pool of like electric water, and she turns to him and goes, "It's time," and he goes, "Time for what?" And she goes, "Time to die," and throws him into it.
James Bond has to adapt to that.
I'll cover some very mediocre or bottom tier ones that just were either they were okay, or mediocre, or just not worth the rental, not worth anybody's time, just avoid. M. Night Shyamalan's Old.
Did that really suck that bad?
It's not like terrible. It's just really overly goofy and self-serious in the places where it shouldn't be. And it kind of speaks to M. Night's just when he's given too much free reign to just be very zany and not quite know what I think he knows what he wants, but it just doesn't make sense to a general audience member is the thing. And you're watching like this weird fantasy island that makes you increasingly grow old by like the 30-minute mark. You're just like aging and aging and aging. And honestly, it's M. Night kind of running amok off of the money he was making off of Glass and Split probably that year. I'm just kind of, if anything, just very flabbergasted by it. It's just I would say if you're curious, check it out. But you're gonna be like, what the fuck is going on?
Would you rank it among his worsts?
It depends how you define worst. Like his worst to me is still The Last Airbender.
Okay, yeah.
I would equate it more with the happening in terms of just goofiness. Like if you're like, this is just so weird. It's on that level. A little bit
Is
of
it
the
like Lady in the Water?
Yeah, a little bit of that too. And then the other ones I have coming down there. Yeah, Dune was one I thought was just very lame. Wolf. I watched this movie called Wolf on a Limb. If you want to know the synopsis, it's about Jacob, who is a man who believes he is a wolf trapped in a human body and is sent to a clinic by his family where he is forced to undergo increasingly extreme forms of curative therapies at the hands of the zookeeper. And he tries to find his way out as he finds himself infatuated with a girl who believes she is a cat, played by Johnny Depp's daughter.
Damn.
So I couldn't tell if this was a movie that was like full on, like, yeah, embrace your furry identity as you try to escape this clinic, because they make the doctors in this movie so over the top and like evil, but at the same time they make these two main characters, this wolf and this cat, very like crazy and insane. Like I don't know how they got to this point in their lives where they thought they really believed this stuff. So I couldn't tell what the director's intent was. It was really stupid but funny.
It's the furry movie.
Yeah.
The furry horror movie.
Yeah. Oh, there's a scene where they like purr and like lick each other. It's a really weird little movie.
Oh, wait, have you watched the new Chucky show? Isn't that out?
Oh, I want to see it. Is it good?
I haven't seen it.
I think the first episode is free on YouTube if I remember correctly. I want to check that out though.
Yeah.
Seems like it's yeah.
Brad Dourif is back, and what's his name?
Mancini's still directing. Yep.
Dude, it's so funny that director, it's like that's his life's work, is the Chucky series. But honestly, he's got something to show for it, because as we've said, it's the only, like, still the same continuity, right?
Yeah.
It's Chucky 1.
It's a like the longest running horror franchise or horror comedy franchise where it's like there's not one single dud. Some are better than others, but there's not one where it's like, oh, that was bad. Like they're all kind of good.
I know, it's like the most mediocre of them, I have to say, is probably 3. But still 3 has so many good parts.
Yeah.
That's the one where he says, "Don't fuck with the Chuck."
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
Oh my God.
All right. We'll just narrow this down now. My top 10 worst of 2021. Number 10 is Last Night in Soho. I just flubbed the name. Last Night in Soho, directed by Edgar Wright.
Dang, really sucked that much?
It is a technical marvel. It is a good-looking movie. He knows his way behind the camera. He knows how to make a really good giallo-esque looking film. He knows how to create mood. He knows how to create really haunting witch-like imagery that you would not pair with a movie of this style, which has this very vaudeville pace to it and look. But everything else is just so flat. And you can tell that Edgar Wright is kind of writing to like middle-aged feminists and less to to like a general audience that wants a really good, solid genre thriller, which it builds up to in the first 20 minutes. But then it just turns into this very generic whodunit murder mystery with lots of crazy
very mixed things on it.
Yeah.
Seems like I would like it. I'm still gonna watch it.
Check it out. It's got decent performances from Matt Smith. He's good in it too. Terrence Stamp, Matt Smith. They're both fine. Anya Taylor-Joy, she's all over the map these days. She's got to be in everything. She's going to be in the new Mario movie coming out.
Oh, yeah. And she's in the new, have you seen the trailer for the new Robert Eggers movie, The Viking?
Oh, dude, looks so sick.
Yeah, man. I think, well, first of all, he's got something going on with his naming system. The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Viking. His last movie should be called My Ass. He's got like The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Viking. What would be next? Like The City.
Robert Eggers just like lights up a lighter and then farts right in front of the camera.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, it does look good. It looks like I'm interested to see what he does with like some action because it looks like it's gonna have some type of action going on. Maybe like a cool chase scene.
Maybe some song and dance. Maybe a Viking's head on a lance. Yeah.
And, okay, what else is on?
My number 9 worst is the amusement park.
One of these times, the door will open in your life, and you will step into the amusement park.
Oh, no, it's fun. You'll like it. You'll really like it.
Full of hope, anticipation for the future, and curiosity for what you will find there. The man in the amusement park is a mirror image of yourself, separated only by the passage of time.
Why are you punishing me like this? For
Hello? There's nothing out there. I'll see for myself. Bye.
Which is technically not a 2021 movie. It came out in 1975. It's directed by George Romero. It is a lost, uncovered 1 hour, I guess, educational film about the dangers that senior citizens face in day-to-day life in public settings. And it follows, it's like a cautionary tale for senior citizens who go to amusement parks. And it's done in the style of like a Twilight Zone episode where it's like this old man goes out to an amusement park and everybody's just a total piece of shit and treats him like shit and like beats on him and slaps him around and tramples him over and denies him food and abandons him. And it's just like, what is wrong with everybody the whole time you're watching this?
They're like, no food for you, old man.
Honestly, it's veers on that point. It's just not good. It's really lame.
You don't deserve water. Why don't you go die?
Yeah, and Shudder was building up like, this is the most scariest, most haunting thing since Night of the Living Dead. I'm like, no, it's really dumb. Come on.
It sucks ass.
Yeah. Like, look, we love Romero for what he did. This was a blunder. He was clearly making this on like student funds. Like, come on. No. So that was lame. Number 8, Spider-Man No Way Home, which we already talked about. Pretty much a dumb movie apart from a great Willem Dafoe performance and the occasional 1 or 2 funny moments, I guess, if you want to call them that. I didn't really laugh during it. It was so dumb. Like I was just cringing. Like whenever they were like trying to have like one-offs with each other. Like, you're amazing, Spider-Man. You're very amazing.
You're like, get it out of my face.
Yeah. They're all hugging each other. Like, I love you guys. I'm like, ew.
Gay.
Never again. I don't want to ever see those characters ever again.
All right, we get it.
Number 7, my worst, The Conjuring. The devil made me do it. The devil made me do it. What a terrible, just lame horror movie. The thing that we thought was going to bring us back to movie theaters, and that was the first thing we watched in 2021. It sucked.
Dude, every movie that came out was supposed to be the movie that brought us back to movie theaters.
Yeah.
Remember when it was Tenet?
Yeah, the movie that nobody could hear because it was so inaudible. Yeah.
Dang, yes. Conjuring 3 really sucked.
Yeah, it's all about
James Wan, right?
James Wan, like he like produces it, but it's just entirely different director, and you can kind of tell because it just doesn't have it doesn't have some of the resilience and I guess nuances that James Wan usually brings to the table. Like it's way more jump scare heavy. I don't know. The Warren characters look very tired, and I get so distracted when knowing like the Warrens in real life never did any of this shit. So it's like it just make these original characters, and then I can kind of excuse how absurd these ghostly sightings are throughout the film. And I don't know. It's just dumb, like googly-eyed stuff thrown at the camera. It's not fun. My number 6 is The Matrix Resurrections. Did you see The Matrix Resurrections, Jake?
No, I've heard a lot about it though.
It's out there for anybody who's got an HBO Max subscription. And
I'm signed into one, so I'm still gonna watch it eventually.
And now it's just Lana Wachowski who directed it this time. I guess the other Wachowski tapped out and said, "No, I'm not doing that anymore." And I don't blame. This was pretty tired compared to the first Matrix, which we watched last year as a godsend to our nostalgia for it, which holds up so well. You know, I found it remarkable watching the first Matrix again at your theater and thinking, wow, this looks like it was shot just like 2 years ago. It's that polished and that well done.
Yeah.
Here, it's like every tired rule in the book. You know, Neo's a game designer and he's forgotten that he's Neo. He's way too plugged in. And then he has to learn to get plugged out and reunite with a now living Trinity who survived. The Mr. Smiths are missing. A lot of the other characters are kind of missing. Yeah. Morpheus is gone, or he's replaced by a different Morpheus. It just felt so fan servicey and also fan made. It didn't feel like anything that came from the ground up in 1999.
Yeah. I heard it was meant to suck though.
Well, then
Wachowski sabotaged the movie.
You think?
Isn't that what happened? Because they said they were gonna make the Matrix with or without her, so she was like, "Fuck it, I'll just make it, and I'll make it really shitty."
Yeah. So Matrix Resurrections, avoid. There's a character named Chad in it. Trinity ends up with a guy named Chad.
Welcome back to the real world.
真実の先を知りたくないか。世界はまだマトリックスに支配されているのか。ネオは救世主ではないのか。I'm done fighting. Are you? マトリックス Resurrections.
My number 5 is Willy's Wonderland with Nick Cage.
Oh, wow. That was 2021?
It was like early 2021. It's supposed to be kind of a send up to Five Nights at Freddy's, or at least they wanted to do a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Didn't get the rights, so they just built this other little carnival house where Nick Cage just gets to beat up a bunch of animatronic bears and toys and things, which that stuff is okay. It's shot very poorly though. Nick Cage doesn't have a single line throughout the whole film. He's the silent hero. He
Does
teams
he
up.
really not have a single line?
No, he doesn't say anything.
Oh, wow.
Which I was kind of bummed about. Like he just makes faces the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just shot very poorly. It's edited very poorly, and there's nothing about it that was fun, really. It's got all the makings to be a fun popcorn movie with a group of Nick Cage fans, and it doesn't deliver on that. It was just kind of lame. Who would have thunk that the Pig movie, the most depressing movie of the year, would have been the go-to Nick Cage movie to go watch?
Yeah, right?
And then my number 4 is F9, the new Fast and Furious.
Dang, I didn't even know that came out.
Yeah, I watched that with a group. I forgot because we were watching all of them. I'm now a Fast and Furious aficionado. I've seen them all, including Hobbs and Shaw. And this one just does everything, but worse and worse.
They go to space in this one?
They do go to space.
How do they go to space? Do they bring their cars to space?
They're like rocket cars, and they have spacesuits. And they have to like stop a satellite dish from zapping something. I can't remember. I was too drunk at that point. There's a scene where Don like is getting like overcrowded with a bunch of people, and he just tears through cement and pulls them back and body slams them with his back into a huge cemented tank of water, and then manages to swim out in like the nick of time. It's like these guys aren't. They address in this movie that they're superheroes at this point. They can't die. Nobody in this franchise can die.
Yeah.
Everybody's back. What a lame movie.
What else?
Number 3 is Bo Burnham's Inside.
I saw parts of that. Everyone was crazy about it.
I don't get it. I don't get the hype.
Yeah.
It's really well made. He did it all in his room with the Lumix cameras that we use in my workplace. But it's just Bo Burnham doing the most tired song and dance comedy routine and like being really out of it. Like, it's just like...
He's just stuck in his room.
Yeah, well, it's just like the really pompous, like socialist elite types and their jokes, like they're just so out of touch with reality and like the working class. And that's like half of his jokes. And I guess there's a subset of people that love that. I find it very annoying and pretentious. So yeah. But it's definitely well made. I was surprised by the lighting and the editing in it. He did a good job for what he could on his own. Props to him. Just the content sucked. Hey, that's comedians for you though. I don't know.
These days.
All right, and then my number 2, Buck Breaking, the Tariq Nasheed documentary. I don't think you know anything about this one. It's kind of a whirlwind of a movie that I had to watch in torrent somewhere because getting copies of it is really hard. But it's Tariq Nasheed, who's got this documentary about how in the times of the Civil War and slavery, basically Black people were being sexualized and sexually tortured by white people. That's basically what he's going down a long rabbit hole history that has no real evidence or backing. Not saying that stuff didn't exist or wasn't happening, but he's kind of going off some weird sources. And then the whole second half, he's talking about how Black men are emasculated in media, which is true. I would agree, but you can broaden that, I guess, if you want to talk about that. But so it's a real big, just a very, very oddball documentary that just does not fit in today's climate.
Right.
I'm glad it kind of exists because it opens the doors to some discourse. I'm sure you've got no opinion right now because of just going off of it. Yeah. And then my number 1, the head honcho, the worst film of 2021, directed by my new favorite filmmaker, Coke Daniels.
Coke?
Yeah. Karen, the movie Karen.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor. You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
Is she nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen, okay, enjoy yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen. I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive, yep.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone, we didn't do anything!
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood?
It's about a racist woman who makes it her personal mission to displace the new Black family that has just moved into her neighborhood next door. And they won't back down without a fight. Now, Karen is played by actress Taryn Matting, who is probably most famous for 8 Mile and Orange is the New Black. She has a prominent role in that show. But she plays this Karen character who doesn't like, she doesn't like this new Black couple that moves into the family. They're basically ruining the status quo, trying to keep the community together, even though they're doing literally nothing to her. She's the one being weird and like surveilling them the whole time. And
about a murderous Karen.
Yeah, and you can't tell if it's like on the nose or self-aware or not up until like the very end where the last 2 minutes becomes a full-on Black Lives Matter PSA.
Really?
It breaks character and doesn't even be a movie anymore. I'm just like, what is going on? But I'm so excited to see whatever Coke Daniels directs next because it was hilarious. It was the worst film I've seen, but I was laughing. I was having a fun time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So that was the worst of 2021.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Well, it was a pretty shitty year. I just watched a lot of old movies. That's how many shitty movies. So many shitty movies came out this year that I just stopped. And I just started watching movies that I knew were good, which I'm about to do tonight with Rogue Nation.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, hell, Jake, thanks for coming on again. We did some good stuff last year. Stewie the Demon Swine was a knockout hit.
Yeah.
I think everybody was very astonished and very immersed into the life cycles of this pig who's, as far as we know, still very young and still out there.
I haven't seen Stewie in days. Last I heard, he was out on an excursion. Today, I found 9 human skulls lined up on Stewie's doorstep.
He's going for humans now.
About time.
About time, if you ask me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for everybody out out there who saw Tape Deck and came out to see that show. Jake saw an early screener of that last year. And
that's
then
a good one.
They got a little bit of an update. And
Cobra Kai.
the fudge fuzzin'. Mademoiselle, I hope you like the film. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll do another one of these maybe in 2022 or 2023.
Oh, then on.